In this video, we're going to explore the Photoshop workspace. Now that we've set our workspace up to a more manageable way of working, let's explore what is actually in this workspace. Currently, I have a document open, 8.5 by 11, a white document. Now, if you want to get on the same page with me, you're going to go File, New, and that's going to take you to this new document window. Now yours may look a little bit different because I have a lot in my recent templates. The easiest way to get to this 8.5 by 11 document is go to Print, and it should be the first preset for you on the left. And if it's not, then you can come over here and write 8.5 by 11, 300 resolution. By default, it should say white background, and then you can click Create. And it should bring you to this document. Now, because I already had a white document, and it's not going to change at all. Here, let me make one little mark on this. So because I already had a white document opened, now I have two. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this document, clicking on the little tab and Xing it out. It's going to ask me if I want to save this. I do not want to save that. I'm going to say no. We should be on the same page with a white page. And now let's look at what we've got going on. Here's our document and our document window. This is our document tab. It'll have the file name on it if it does have a file name. Let's go ahead and save this document because it looks fantastic. I'm going to say File, Save As. Then I'm going to name it something. Just name it White Page. And then I'm just going to select where it's going to save it to. I'm working on a Mac, so if you're not working on a Mac, your window will look a little different. I can select where I want to save it and then select Save. I'm just going to put that right on the desktop. Now my document, my white document, in the document window, it says white. Now let's go into the very top in the drop-down menu where it says Photoshop CC. You're going to see a series of drop-down menus. You can click on that. The first one is File. This is where you're going to open brand new files and you're going to save files. And then if you have a printer, you're going to be printing your files. The next tab is Edit. Then you have Image, and this is where you're going to do your adjustments. You have the Layer drop-down menu. You have one for Type. You have one for selections, filters. I don't use the 3D one, so we're going to skip that. And you got your view and you got your window drop-down menu and then help. Underneath that, you have a tools option bar. So let me show you what that means. On the right-hand side, that's the tools. Now, when I click on any of these tools, you can see that this tools option bar changes. So let's put it on the first one. This is the move tool. So this is the options that tool has. And when I click on any of these tools, that option bar changes. If you look real closely on a lot of the tools, there's a tiny little bitty arrow at the very corner, bottom right corner of the tab. If you press and hold your mouse, a flyout window comes out and multiple tools are in that flyout window. So here I have the rectangle marquee, I have the elliptical, I have the single row. Under this one I have the quick selection and magic. So not only do you have all these tools, but you have tools embedded in there. Now, if you lose a tool, what you can do is there's a little button with 3 dots. Click and hold on that and it'll say Edit Toolbar. And then the Edit Toolbar window will come up, and I'm going to expand that just a little bit. If you're missing some of your tools or your tools aren't in the defaults like this, you can then go into Clear Tools and then Restore Tools. And that just resets everything to its default. And then when you're finished, you can hit Done. So sometimes when we're working in Photoshop, we'll hit a shortcut, we'll press a button somewhere on the interface and we won't notice. So we'll lose certain things. And if we lose a tool, that is one way to do it. Now, another thing that may happen is you may lose one of your panels, or you want a panel to show up. So let's just say the tools in general, let's say we moved it away from the side and we X'd it out and got rid of it. Of course, after we panic a little bit, we're going to come up to the window and then come down to Tools and click on Tools, and the tools will come back, and then you can move that right back. And that works for any of these panels. So if I move my history panel out and I lose it, I can come back to Window, go to History, that panel will come back and then I can replace it to where it was. Oops. So what happened is I accidentally put this history panel with my adjustments. I don't want it in that panel, I want it above. So just pull it out and wait until that blue line comes on the top, and then that way it'll stack the history panel above the adjustments. And then I can move that and give it a little bit more space. And I like the adjustment tabs there. The history is every time that you do something in Photoshop, it's recorded here. So what I'm going to do is take my brush tool, and then I'm going to make sure black is on top by clicking this little double arrow. You can see that I can toggle back and forth. I'm going to make sure black is on top. And then when I make a mark, you can see in the history panel that that is recorded here. And I'll make another mark, and then it's recorded here. So the history panel records by default 20 actions, and then at the 21st action, that first one will drop off. Now you can go into your presets and change that to 25, 30, 40, 50. I think my preset handout that's available on Canvas shows 50. And if I want to get rid of these X's, I can come back to the original document, which is this tab up top, and that'll just take me to the original. Or I can backstep any one of these steps. So here's that first one, the second thing I did to the document. The next panel here is the adjustment panel. We're going to talk about that much later. And then the layers panel made Photoshop famous. You can stack images on top of each other. So we just have a document with one layer. And so what we did is create these X's on one layer. So they're not independent and I can't move them around. And this is the layers panel, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So that is a quick overview of the workspace in Photoshop. All right, that's it for now.